Very often, we're so focused on achieving and moving forward that we don't stop and actually celebrate what we've achieved, what we've worked so hard for. As the saying goes, I believe John Lennon said it, life is what happens when you're busy making plans. It's true. Enjoy now because this right now is what we have in this moment. Savor it in whatever way you can. Hello, and welcome to the Connect podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila Botello, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started. Hey there, welcome to this week's Q&A episode. Today is all about self-care and any struggles that you may be having at this time. A few questions came in about some real-life challenges people are facing during this season that everyone's navigating. When you search online for self-care, you'll learn different strategies that talk about actions you can take to optimize or hack your wellness, and you'll mostly see that they're external. While these things are very important, my focus with soul-driven wellness and living is to look within yourself for the things that really resonate in order to help support you and your health and wellness, your parenting, your business life, your life overall. My focus is to help people with sustainable self-care strategies. Things that will help their life, that will help it be more possible for them to do their current lifestyle without putting too much time into it and still getting huge rewards from it. You don't even need that much time when you're doing something that's soul-driven when it comes to your self-care. Now, the first question today that came in is from Audrey, and she says, my self-care is non-existent because I'm still adapting to my work from home setup. I am using technology that I've never needed to use, and that adds on to my exhaustion levels each day. On top of that, my 3 kids are home. While my partner is very helpful, I feel like I take on the emotional load of making sure that everyone is progressing in their studies. The additional emotions my kids are feeling from being in this brand new setup makes it extra challenging. This makes it really difficult for me to do much for myself outside of the necessities. Doing anything outside of that feels selfish. I can't wait until this is over. Help. Audrey, I hear you and I witness what you're going through. You are not alone. I think a lot of women are feeling the way you are right now, and some men as well. Depending on the dynamic at home, many people are used to being gone throughout the day and not being involved with the day-to-day studies of their kids, in addition to all the added responsibilities. Even though it's been 8 months, it's still new compared to what our past experience has been. We're working according to a whole new set of rules. Very often in relationships, people can feel like their partner or other family members can read their minds because they know them so well. And with the added responsibilities at home, communication becomes increasingly important. So have some grace on yourself. This is still really fresh for everyone, and we're all figuring out how to do this best. It's affecting everybody in different ways, and you need to make sure that you know that you can go easy on yourself right now, and you can also redetermine what home life looks like. You can take these steps instead of just going with it and letting the day dictate for you how to handle things. Some practical guidance for you is to give your body and your soul some self-care by turning down the social media volume, turning down the news volume, which can be very difficult to do right now, particularly at this time of year. I invite you, though, to steep yourself instead in uplifting, calming inputs, books, podcasts, music, art, comedy. Laughter is a huge stress reliever and a relaxation stimulus. When you turn down the volume on the optics and speculation and the comments that are flying around the internet, it allows you to tune into how you're really doing and refocuses you on what is important to you, yourself, right in this moment. Everything swirling around in the media can overwhelm you, even if your physical environment is calm. Your emotional environment may at the same time be in chaos and overwhelm. The self-care I'm going to recommend first then is turn down the volume on the media. You may already be doing this, but you need to create some mental space for yourself to be able to sit with yourself and find out how you're really doing and how to know to ask for help. The next thing is, I really want you to look at this as a mindset shift. Consider when you take care of you, everyone else gets elevated. The opposite is also true. When you're not taking care of yourself, it really impacts negatively how other people are doing around you. Let me ask you this. Have you ever found that the more stressed you are, the more chaotic the environment around you is? Well, it makes sense because we're energetic beings. This is science. And let's get real. You felt it. Certain people you've been around have made you feel elevated, excited, optimistic when you've been around them. And then again, other people who perhaps are having an off day, well, their attitude and vibe rubs off on you too. Not in the same way. It's just the way things are. So make the mental shift and choose to take care of yourself so that everyone else can come to a new sense of normalcy and calm around you. The thing that really touched my heart about this was, I love the heart of someone who is thinking about the emotional challenges their kids are going through right now. Very often, the emotional landscape of children is to be more attached to the mom. And more, there are amazing exceptions to this rule. And I'm really grateful to have amazing men in my world who are leading the charge and being really caring, loving leaders and emotionally connected to their kids. So definitely there are beautiful exceptions. That being said, if that's not the case in your home, inviting your partner into the conversation of how everyone's doing emotionally when you're talking with your kids and actually making space for that is super important. It's also going to help teach your kids age-appropriate coping mechanisms. This time has shaken all of us, and kids may not visually show it, but internally, things have been set off balance. So bringing it to the forefront, being the leader in your family and talking about it, especially as united front, if you're parenting with someone, is very important to do. I encourage you to do that. And then if you are a solo parent, my heart is with you. It's an extra load that you're carrying. So making space for yourself is of utmost importance. And seeking outside help from trusted confidants, friends, family to help you with this is highly recommended. It's so important for you to invest in some sort of care for yourself, and it's extra important if you're solo parenting. When you take care of your own emotional health, your kids may just unconsciously follow suit. If they see you feeling calmer, they may just automatically calm down themselves. They'll be like, hey, I think I can handle this because mom and dad are feeling great. This is what I personally experienced during this time, but also during other times when my family's been immersed in many different times of loss and grief and really unexpected things. We've been able to come through it, and our faith has been a huge part of that, I must say. So if you have a faith practice, leaning on that is imperative for you. Whatever practice fills you up is so important to connect to. With that in mind, you need to create your own soul-driven wellness practice. The basis of that is that instead of just adding more things on your self-care to-do list, consider taking things off the list. That's the best form of self-care ever. Taking away things that are unnecessary, things that really don't matter in the grand scheme. Let go of what is expected and make your own rules. And also, Audrey, release the guilt over being disappointed. Disappointed that this has happened. That we're all going through this time with the world being delayed, plans being canceled, and all of these unexpected things that we're unsure of. So much disappointment has been experienced. Women have been programmed for too long to feel guilty for having needs and even desires that are outside of the cultural, maternal, and feminine norm. And that also includes being able to voice your disappointment for something. So I encourage you to sit with the fact that it's okay to feel disappointed. My kind of disappointment compared to other people's disappointment may be very different, and yet it's also valid because we are all valuable. So when you move and live from that space, you can be okay with yourself, and you can actually find solutions that not only help you, but your family and the greater community around you. Truly, when you're taking care of yourself, you can take care of the world. So thank you for that vulnerable, honest question, Audrey. It's so important, and I think you're not alone in feeling these things. So I hope that you can reconnect with yourself and really find some things that will uplift you during this time. The second question that came in is similar. A lot of people are writing in about self-care right now, and they're people who are struggling to get it. Typically, it's people who are nurturers of other people. See, I remember being single, and then when I got married, my husband and I waited 10 years to have kids. So I know what it was like to be single and an adult and have all the freedom in the world, and also to be married and have the two of us in wide open spaces. I could choose to be as busy or not busy as I wanted to be when I wasn't working. And then kids came along. And as much as I loved the experience, things changed when it came to time. So I had to be really fierce about my boundaries. This question comes from Maya. She says, everyone is crowded into my house and I can't find any time to be alone. I've gone on walks, rarely alone, but when I have, they felt so good. Self-care for me has always been going for a massage or out with my girlfriends. I'm at a loss for what to do while I'm at home. It feels so mundane and stifling. Well, this question is really all about boundaries as well. Maya, you're crowded into your home and you feel out of control. There's some boredom setting in. It's not just like, I'm busy and taking care of everybody, but there is this day in, day out, get the meals, day-to-day activities thing going on, and not too many places that you feel you can go. This can really eat away at your emotional well-being. Really, where you need to start is by telling the truth. And thank you for sharing it here. I hope that you shared it with the people who you're crowded into the house with, not in a complaining way, but in a really gracious, open, and vulnerable way. And also asking the question of those around you, how are you feeling? Are you feeling the way I'm feeling? A little stifled? You can also implement some boundaries by not just saying, this is what I need, but let's decide as a family or as a household, because as we know, households are made up of many different things other than next of kin. Deciding what would make everyone feel better right now, that's important. So asking, what does everyone need? If everyone's voicing how they're feeling and seeing that it's okay to share what their needs are, then everyone can actually be closer to getting what they need. So say what you need, let it out. And you know what? If nobody gives it to you, take what you need. Find a way. Because you may find that since everyone else is wrapped up in their own emotions, they may be surprised that you're struggling. You may show that you're very strong and you're just going about the day getting things done. They may not know how you're truly feeling. So say it out loud. When you speak up, you give other people permission to do the same. And if some of these people who are crowded into a house with you are younger than you, like if they're your children, if they're teens, young adults, you're teaching them a very valuable lesson in the ultimate self-care, which is self-knowledge and self-awareness, and setting boundaries about what is acceptable and what is not acceptable to you. On the world stage, we've all seen how often this has not been the case, where people haven't felt comfortable raising their voice, and so they haven't. So in your very own home, you can be the change that you wish to see in the future. Also, I understand you like to go out and connect with other people for your self-care time. I love that you share that your self-care is often to connect with your girlfriends and do things like going on a walk. It's not just about a bubble bath. While that's lovely, so if you're into that, take as many of those as you can. The fact that you want to connect with other people is amazing. So try recreating your preferred self-care at home. Find some time to be home alone, maybe while the kids are asleep or on a Saturday morning. For instance, if you're used to cleaning your home or doing laundry Saturday mornings, switch it till later in the day or another time so that you can put your self-care first. If you're running your kids around to some kind of practice or event, see if you can switch off with another parent or friend so that you can have a Saturday to yourself. Your kids will be so much happier when you are so much happier. That's truly the theme of this. If we're all taking care of ourselves and being rested and fulfilled, it makes for a happier home, which makes for a happier community, which makes for a happier world. When you invest in your self-care first, you have way more energy to do the other tasks on your list. Maybe you could have a standing virtual girls' night, which I'm seeing so much of right now. People connecting over Zoom and chatting and all these different things in many cases. And in my case, I can say that I'm seeing and talking to some of my friends more often because people are home more often and able to make that connection time happen. In this way, you could have like a kombucha night or a wine night or a book club virtually and finally read that book together that you've been wanting to dive into. The beautiful thing about this is that most likely your friends are feeling similar to you and wanting connection. So doing these things can be so nourishing for you and for your sphere of influence. You can also set a time with your partner where you have a specific time slot that you're not to be disturbed. And that's your self-care time, whether you want to just be lounging with a book or sleeping in, taking a nap, whatever the case. And that is a way of nourishing yourself. And the cool thing is, you can reciprocate. You can do the same for them. It really makes it a win-win in your relationship and everybody gets refreshed. The last thing I'm going to share is going to sound overly simplified, and yet it has a huge impact. Find something to celebrate each day. See, very simple. It may sound rosy. Truly, when you do this simple thing, you feel lighter and you realize that you can always find something that's going wrong, but there's always something that's going right. And that is what you want to start looking for. Very often we're so focused on achieving and moving forward that we don't stop and actually celebrate what we've achieved, what we've been working so hard for. As the saying goes, I believe John Lennon said it, life is what happens when you're busy making plans. It is true. Enjoy now, because right now is what we have in this moment. Savor it in whatever way you can. So that's the Q&A session for this week. Thank you for tuning in. And if you have questions about wellness, conscious parenting, better sleep, and overall living a soul-driven lifestyle, please send your questions to info@sheilabatello.com, or you can direct message me at Sheila Batello on Instagram. I'd love to know how you're doing and what's coming up for you as you move into this new season of 2020. If you found this episode helpful, please screenshot it and share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Share it to your stories and tag me at Sheila Batello. It's very helpful for me to know how this information is landing with you and how it's improving your life. We have another short episode coming out on Monday to get you started for the week all fresh. So watch for that. And until then, big blessings. Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.